Welcome back to your Lesson 9 videos. We just have a few more things to cover really quickly. We left off talking about what a fracture is and how you can have an open or closed fracture depending on if the bone is penetrating through the skin. Next, we're going to focus on how bones heal after they've been fractured or injured. And there's really four major events that occur. Step one is a hematoma is going to form. And you may have heard that word before. A lot of times hematomas are referred to as a bruise. So what happens is when your bone breaks, you also are breaking all the blood vessels within it. So you have all this swelling from this blood, and that's what the hematoma is forming. Without proper blood flow, your osteocytes, your mature bone cells, are deprived of nutrition in their lacunae, so they actually die. So step two, the break is splinted by a fibrocartilage callus. So once the bone cells are now dead and you have your hematoma, we have to start reforming the tissue. So you have white blood cells called phagocytes that come in and basically take up the old tissue to dispose it. You're starting to form new capillaries called granulation tissue. We actually talked about granulation tissue back in the integumentary system as well, where if you cut your skin, you have that kind of delicate pink tissue forming. Then you have connective tissue come and literally form a kind of splint over the injured area, and we call this a fibrocartilage callus. So basically this is kind of the beginning of getting that bone back in place and closing the gap between your two broken bones. Step three is the bony callus forming. So osteoblasts and osteoclasts are going to migrate to the area and go through kind of a little bit of bone remodeling. They're going to start it basically. So they're going to replace that fibrocartilage with spongy bone or the bony callus. Finally, bone remodeling occurs. So osteoclasts come and they're going to break down this kind of spongy bone. And then osteoblasts are going to replace it with really strong, compact bone. And this is why a lot of times when you have a bad break, you go to physical therapy or you go somewhere to rehabilitate because you actually want to put a little bit of mechanical stress on that bone because it forces these bone cells to remodel and form a really nice permanent patch over the fracture site. They also say that's why people that have like osteoporosis or aging, it's really good to exercise because that mechanical stress stimulates that bone remodeling to occur. So step one, we have the hematoma forming. That's pretty much right after injury. You have blood pooling in the area. The bone tissue surrounding the break is dying. Then you have your fibrocartilage callus, or the splint, forming. So you can see we have some connective tissue trying to bridge the two broken bones together, and you have new blood vessels innervating the area. Three, the bony callus is forming. So you're going to lay down spongy bone, and then bone remodeling. So due to some mechanical stress, your osteoclasts and osteoblasts will remodel the bone, forming a really hard, compact bone, permanent site. So that is it for Lesson 9. Make sure your note guide is filled out completely, and please start your assignments. Thanks for watching.